This is the Moshpit Backstage podcast for punk, metal and rock interviews and segments.
Hey, this is Danny Lilker from Nuclear Assault, and you are listening to the Moshpit on Scene.
So Dan Lilker is the bassist of legendary thrash band Nuclear Assault, who will be touring Australia in February of next year, playing at Max Watt in Melbourne on the 22nd. Dan, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, how's it going, man? Sorry.
That's right. Yeah, it's doing good. I'm really pleased to talk to you. So this is the first and final series of Australian shows for Nuclear Assault. Have you visited the country before with any other groups?
Yes, I have. I have been down to Australia 3 times with another band I was in, Brutal Truth. I think that was like 96, 98, and 2009. But this would be the first time with Nuclear Assault.
When you're coming down with a different band, playing with a different band, does that sort of change the way you does that change the experience, do you think?
Well, yes and no. I mean, with Nuclear Assault, musically, it's a little different than what Brutal Truth was doing, which was like pretty freaked out grindcore, where Nuclear Assault is just kind of good old thrash metal. So, I mean, there would be a difference, I guess, in like perhaps the musical taste of some of the people coming down, but then again, there's similarities because they're still both like fast music, and which is, always good live. So there's still just like a lot of intensity and thrashing around and everything. So I mean, there's like certain differences, like I said, with the genres, but still, it's just, a live show with intense metal music, and that, I believe, would be something that would be similar.
This being the final Assault tour, how do you feel about all this? Because it's very specific. It's saying this is the end. This is the last time I'm going to see you guys with this band. How do you feel about all that?
Well, I mean, we don't like to be dramatic like that, and we certainly don't want to pull an Ozzy and say that and then come back 10 more times either. What it is that we've reached points in our lives where it's just hard to tour like we could when we were carefree kids in our 20s. People got jobs and families. Some of us dudes are in our 50s already. So there has to be a point where you just can't keep doing it realistically. And especially for somewhere, a territory as far off from us as Australia, that's something where I couldn't see us doing that again. I mean, it'd be one thing if maybe somebody says to us, say, you guys want to play LA on this thing? And we might go, well, we haven't played LA for years, why not? And just fly across the country 5 hours. But it's a face that the trek and all the visa stuff we got to go through to get to Australia, that it would probably be the last time. And as far as how we feel about that, well, I'd love to keep doing it forever, but there's certain realities that prevent that. So we just want to make the best of what we still got and hope everybody enjoys it. And besides that, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Now, some of these songs, over 30 years old, why do you think they still kind of hit home, and not just in a nostalgia way? I mean, I was certainly never there in the 80s. I'm much younger than that, but I still love your music. Why do you think it still hits home, even though, it's got a significant heritage to it?
Well, because I think, without sounding egotistical, it's well-made music. The thing about thrash metal and crossover, however you want to term it in general, is that it just kind of proves on the whole that it's a legitimate genre. That when you go into the history books of music and they talk about classical music and jazz and folk and classic rock or whatever, that thrash metal has proved its legitimacy. It's proved its validity, and I'm definitely proud to say that I've been a part of the creation of that stuff. And the fact that 30 years later it still has its relevance and can still be enjoyed, I think just points to the quality of the music in general. And again, I'm not saying just my band, because then I'd sound like an egomaniac. But it's also quite flattering and humbling, on a personal level. But it just shows that lyrically, these problems haven't gone away, especially here in the States with recent developments. And that musically, it stood the test of time, and it's quality music, and there's people like you that weren't around then, and there's people your age that are forming bands and have been influenced by the stuff and are keeping it going and keep generating it. And I think that's a great thing. It shows we weren't wasting our time.
In terms of the lyrics, even regardless of the 2016 election, it is kind of a bit depressing, the fact that on some of the issues that there's not a lot of progress. I was going through some of the songs, reading some of the lyrics, and you're talking about issues that I think are just as relevant, if not even more relevant today.
Yeah, that's the part that's almost sad in a way, but yeah, when we have a catchy chorus where everybody goes, another oil spill, one of the reasons that hits home is because that shit just still keeps happening. And with social commentary, however you want to call it lyrically, when you're pointing out things that you think should be addressed, and again, we never wanted to shove our views. We're not like a full-on political punk rock band that's saying, this is good, this is bad. That's the point of the song Brainwashed. We want people to come up with their own thoughts about stuff and form their own opinions. But, it's ironic, but, everything, you're talking about politics or religion or whatever, there's all this stuff that's, what's the call? You're right there in your face, and it's not going anywhere. So it is interesting that, it's still relevant. Kind of, I don't know how it would change, personally, not in this world, but, yeah, it's ironic that whatever.
In terms of thrash, it tends to be very focused on some of the big bands. And with some of the big bands like Nuclear Assault, like some of the other bands where eventually, just age catches up with people and they'll eventually close up shop. What do you think the future of thrash is going to be, given that it's so focused on the bigger bands?
Well, I would just like to think that bands would keep carrying on the tradition, younger bands, and, obviously, like I was alluding to before, the bands that began it, the bands that are our age, can't keep doing it forever for, financial and domestic reasons and stuff like that I was talking about. So I would just hope that people just carry on the tradition and keep having the right influences and keep it going. That's my hope.
Now, people might think Brutal Truth has ended back in 2014, Nuclear Assault's winding up, you're disappearing forever, but that's definitely not the case, is it?
Well, I'm going to keep making music one way or another. It's just, I've kind of scaled it down. I play in a couple of local bands here where I live in Rochester, New York, and I've gotten recently back into doing stuff like designing synthesizers with software programs for stuff that I might not be known for, but all stranger, more ambient stuff, because my musical tastes are kind of diverse. But, yeah, Brutal Truth, when I said I was retiring, that's really because I just wasn't going to be touring as much as I used to, for reasons I've said already, and other stuff, just like traveling these days, dealing with airports can be quite hellish. It's just not like it used to. 9 out of 10 times you don't get where you're going on time with all your stuff. I'm not sure if I can use foul language if we're on the air here.
No, feel free.
I was just going to say with all your shit, but nothing that obscene. And sitting in a van for 8 hours a day because, I'm not in a band that's like Metallica that's going to put this tour in style and luxury, and that's not why I started playing music anyway. But Eventually, I'm not going to be going out and doing that much more in foreign places, and if I do, I don't even know who it's going to be with. So I don't plan things out too much. So maybe when I said I was retiring, there was a bit of an exaggeration. It was kind of like a nice way to stop doing brutal truths without the other guys getting their feelings hurt. I don't know. Dan
Lilker, Nuclear Assault will be touring Australia February next year. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a real pleasure.
All right, cheers, man. See you down there.
Thanks for listening to the Moshpit Backstage podcast. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and Omni. To find out more about the show, go to www.syn.org.au/moshpit. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/moshpitonsyn and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at moshpitsyn. The regular Moshpit radio show broadcasts punk, rock and metal tunes and interviews every Thursday nights on Syn 9.7 on FM and digital radios. Listeners outside of Melbourne, Australia can stream Syn 9.7 online at www.syn.org.au. Thanks to Vintage Ruin for the music.
Hi, this is Tomato from Thrash Apocalypse.
Hi, I'm Enid from Girls School.
I am Phoebe Pinnock from Heavenly Axe.
Hey, this is Gary Olney of the Misfits.
Hey, this is Kat Sproul from Horizon's Edge, and you're listening to the Moshpit on Syn FM.
Hi, this is Einar from Leopard.
Hi, I'm Virginia Lilly from the band Lily.
This is Raul from 1349.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ali from Zebrahead.
Hey, everybody, this is Charlie Benante with Anthrax, and you are listening to the Moshpit on Syn.